Hey guys, this is Broken Toolbox. There was something I wanted to talk about. It was something I was actually thinking about all week. It was from a video I saw, and I'm sure you guys have probably seen the video. It's out everywhere. But it's about this older gentleman, and he's sitting in the yard. He's doing some kind of renovation work, yard work, and he had a spool of wire in his hands. And this man, he's been working with his hands his entire life. You could probably assume from the video. And he's just sitting there pondering this spool of wire that he's had his entire life. And the reason he's pondering is because it's almost out. And his wife, who's behind the camera, and his wife just acts absolutely disgusting. Like I'm still floored by the video and how she behaved and how she responded to this man, sharing what he was feeling. But this man sitting there looking at this spool of wire and like contemplating the fact that it was almost out, that it was a massive spool of wire when he first got it. He's been using it for projects and for work his entire life, and it's almost complete. He will have to get another spool of wire soon because no, the spool of wire, he's been using it for so many projects, it's almost out. And I guess he just never came to the realization that one day this one tool, this one item that he's had in his day-to-day life, it's going to be gone soon. But it's been with him for countless years, most of his life. It got me thinking, and I want you guys to think too, like, what's one item that you've had your entire life, one thing that you use day to day, or maybe you don't use it anymore? It's not like necessarily an heirloom or an antique, but it's just an everyday utility or day-to-day life comfort item. It can be anything, like a glass or a pencil. And it may not mean much, and it shouldn't mean much, but it's been with you and a part of you for so long that it would feel discomforting to let go of it. And for me, that would probably be the ice cream scoop that I've had my entire life, the one that I grew up with up until a few years ago. It could have come from either my mom or my dad. They probably had it for longer than I was around. There's a good chance it's probably older than me. It was the only ice cream scoop I ever had. It was the only one I've ever known. And it didn't mean much to them, but for whatever reason, it meant everything to me. It was a little like chromed ice cream scoop with a disgusting bright orange, like almost neon orange handle. It was rusty, the chrome was scraping off. It was terrible. It was in terrible condition. I mean, it was still usable. I wasn't like getting tetanus with every scoop of ice cream, but I loved it. Like it was the only ice cream scoop I ever had, but it was the only one I ever needed. Every time I picked up that ice cream scoop and I looked at it or I was about to use it, it would make me think back to the ice cream that, I've been scooping or that my parents scooped for me that I've eaten my entire life. It'd make me think back to all the times that I would have a great time eating ice cream and all of the amazing, wonderful flavors that I've tried. And it just brought back all those memories each and every time that I used it. In a sense, it probably almost made the ice cream taste better. My entire life I've been moving around. We moved to this house about 5 years ago. And that entire time, still had that same ice cream scoop. Wherever I went, that same ice cream scoop went. Anytime I wanted to eat ice cream or we had ice cream, I would use that exact same scoop, and it was extremely comforting. Until I was about 16. I think I just turned 16. We moved into this house, and my parents, they looked at that one day. It was either my mom or my dad. They looked at that and they decided it was no longer adequate, and they just picked it up, threw it away. Just like that. Kind of piece of my childhood gone. I felt weird thinking about it too much. Like, I felt weird feeling bad about it. Because I'm like, it's an ice cream scoop. It's a very, mundane, common item thing. Like it shouldn't have any sentimental value. It's an item. It's just an item. But it's like when they threw that away, it almost like threw away a tiny piece of me with it. And I guess obviously, it didn't mean anything to them. They just saw it as like a utensil or a piece of silverware, cooking equipment, you know. But to me, it was a part of my life, kind of growing up. It was something that brought back memories, something that brought comfort, and I didn't really tell him about it. Didn't say like, "Hey, that like kind of sucks." He threw it away and didn't tell me, because I felt weird, and I didn't really have anything or anyone to like tell them about it or relate it to, because it felt like so pathetic to talk about. Like, oh, they threw away my ice cream scoop. I don't know, for whatever reason, it just meant a lot to me, and they threw that away and they replaced it with this bad boy. It's like a potato scoop, kind of like everything and anything. That includes ice cream. It can scoop up everything. It has like a tiny little ring blade on the inside that separates it from the scoop. You know, it's built for any kind of scoopable food. It's great. You know, it's incredible. But it's not the one I grew up with. And when I look at this, I don't think about, you know, the childhood memories and all the times I had a great time eating ice cream. All I see and all I feel is, yeah, it's just an ice cream scoop. And I think when I saw that video, that was the first time I could relate that strange, nostalgic, and depressed feeling of throwing away something insignificant but also sentimental. His wife obviously didn't understand. Like, if you watch the video, I can even link it below. Everyone's seen it, but if you haven't, you know, his wife obviously doesn't understand or is not willing to understand, you know, what he's feeling in that moment. You know, trying to let go of this like very common thing, item, tool, but it meant a lot to him. And yeah, sometimes certain things in life, you just simply have to move on. You gotta grow up. Gotta get a new ice cream scoop. But I don't think you should ever feel weird about feeling down about getting certain things out of your life or removing things that meant a lot to you, even if they seem silly, or even if it seems silly to think that you'd be sad about it going, like your favorite pillow gets too torn up and ratted up, but it was your favorite pillow and you had it since you were a kid, you know, and you got to throw it away. It's too ratted out. Just anything, like, you shouldn't feel weird about it, because I think it's just another one of those strange feelings that we all feel, but no one has really described or talked about. And yeah, and like I said, seeing that video, that was the first time I could visualize or even describe to myself, you know, what that feeling is like. And at the time, when I was 16, you know, throwing away that ice cream scoop, that could have very well been the exact moment that my childhood started coming to an end. And I started growing up, and I still think about it. It's okay to think about these things. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for listening. If you have similar stories or feelings, please feel free to tell me in the comments. Yeah. Time to close down shop. See you in the next one. Take care.